Welcome back, everybody, to Mega Man 4. We're starting off the game right now. In the ancient year of 2000X. Household robots rock and roll were created by master robot designers Dr. Light, and they were enjoying their peaceful days. This is sort of a recap of all the Mega Man games. Up to one day, the industrial robots all over the world went on a rampage, and the world fell into total chaos. Dr. Light quickly realized that the mad scientist Dr. Wily was behind the nefarious deeds, and he didn't know what to do. Brock, having a strong sense of justice, volunteered to be converted into a fighting robot. Thus, the super robot Mega Man was born. It's fun. They typed Mega Man in with no space between Mega and Man, but every other version always refers to it as Mega Space Man. Go figure. Anyways, that's the story. And then this. Mega Man shattered Dr. Wily's plans 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And world peace has been maintained so far, but history repeats itself. Dr. Cossack, a mysterious scientist, invented 8 powerful robots and sent them after Mega Man. Mega Man starts for the battle again. I'm equipped with the powerful new Mega Buster. So, in the last game, well, let's recap. The first Mega Man game, you get Mega Man. The second Mega Man game, you get a better Mega Man game. And then the third Mega Man game, you get Slide. And in this one, you get Mega Buster, which is basically you hold the shoot button, and they charges up his beam blast. So, best way to get around these birds is to slide as soon as they come down. Now, you don't want to slide into the pit. That's a mistake. Also, as you can see, the rain's coming diagonally down from top right to bottom left. That does affect Mega Man's jump, so if you see me waiting to the very last second to make a jump, that is because Mega Man's jump is being pushed back, so you're not getting the full jump arc you would normally get. So I don't think it affects his north and south, like the jump. I think the jump's just as high. I just think it's pushing me back a little bit. So, as you can see, you have to like practically make the jump from the very edge, and then you land on the very edge. So, we're off to a great start. I've already died once. There's gonna be lots more deaths, I'm sure. Plan is to not die too much, I guess. Some parts are easier than others. Toadman is possibly the easiest boss that you're gonna fight with your Buster Cannon, with the exception of maybe... I want to say with maybe Cutman. I can't really think of a boss that's like an actual robot master boss that is simpler to fight than Toadman. There might be one in one of the later Mega Man games I'm forgetting about, but Toadman is his pattern is very simple. Because his power essentially affects the whole screen. They have to give you a way to beat it without taking damage. So they made his pattern very simple. But because you have Charge Buster in this game, it might not seem super obvious. I'm not really sure what... I'm not gonna say I'm not sure what they were thinking, but there's definitely something that when they were designing it, they said, well, we're gonna make Mega Man 4 balls hard to beat, so I guess we'll give you an easy first boss to fight. However, this snail thing is not fun to deal with. This is like the... I want to say this is the hardest part of Toadman's stage right here. You got the water pushing you left and right, and you can't stand in the center because it prevents you from jumping. And I'm a dickhead and refuse to use Charge Buster at this point. I mean, like, seriously. You're welcome to disagree with me, but I think Mega Man 4 is by far the hardest Mega Man game. Mega Man 5 might have more difficult robot masters in it, but Mega Man 4 is just... Some of the bosses are just unfair. And others I tend to have more trouble with than like... When we get to Dive Man. Supposedly Dive Man's supposed to be easy to fight. I've never had an easy time with Dive Man. I mean, you can use his weakness, but I still think, look at this Toad. Look at Toad Man. Shoot him, slide, shoot him, slide, shoot him, slide. This is the whole fight. I mean, yeah, sure, it takes more time to do this than to use his elemental weakness. But basically, anytime you do damage to him, he has to hop. If you don't do damage to him, he will start to wiggle his belly mouth looking thing, and he'll summon the acid rain on you. Which is not the only way he can do damage. Obviously, crash damage is a big part of what he does, as every boss in this game seems to do ridiculous amounts of crash damage. You got Rain Flush. Should be Acid Rain, honestly. Because there's no reason... Well, I guess they're all robots, so I guess Rain Water would be good against electric robots, but I don't know. So, Toadman, Rain is good against Brightman. So Brightman, in case you've never played him, is essentially Flashman 2. He's got a different pattern in terms of the way he moves than Flashman, but he is essentially Flashman. So the little light guy, you just want to not shoot him because that's the only way to counter it. This is also a very difficult jump. I mean, I made it kind of look easy, but you have to, like, literally hit the edge to make the jump. Otherwise, you fall in that pit. And I know there's, you know, you get Rush, Jet, maybe even Rush Coil would be okay there, but you can't back up because they've literally got that little, like, firework guy that turns the lights back on. So if you back up a little bit, you will run into him, and you will go down the pit. So there's some parts of this game that are like really easy, and there's some parts of this game that are just balls hard. Like Skullman is a great example. When we get there, you're gonna see how easy Skullman's stage is. It's like baby easy in terms of getting through. And Skullman is balls hard. He's just he's so hard to fight without using, you know, beating without using an E-tank. So there are two ways to go. One's using the grasshopper. I believe this is progress. And this side path is to get, like, I wouldn't say an upgrade, you get like an E-tank down here. This isn't too hard to get through. This is much easier than the one that comes later. However, now that you've done what we just did there, you have to have enough rush coil to get back. Or I guess if you have rush jet at this point, you could get through here, but I'm not sure where you get rush jet. It might be this stage. So, kind of pointless to come here, or to say, well, you can use rush jet. Well, rush jet's only unlocked once you beat whoever, Brightman or whoever it is. I'm not really too concerned about it because I don't really plan to use rush jet until we get to the Wily area. So this area can be a bit challenging, but you just sort of have to know that there's totem pole guys, and then as soon as the guys turn around, you just basically want to nope, that was a mistake. You want to just, like, if that grasshopper robot turns around, it's gonna go the opposite direction. So like what you want to do is to immediately jump off, because let me give you a hint, if you don't jump off, he's gonna take you all the way into a pit. So I'm sure the other grasshopper will respawn, so I don't think that's that big of a deal. This part can be a bit hard. You want to take your time right here. When you get to this platform, let those bullets pass you. And then you gotta shoot right here, or you'll die. You'll get knocked in the pit, essentially. So I imagine if you wrote it down a little bit, you might be able to short hop it. But I've never actually been successful with that. Like, as soon as the platform lets go, like, I'm in the pit before I'm able to press the jump button. So Brightman's not too hard. You just need to evade his crash damage. You're gonna take damage there. I'm sure there's a way to avoid it, I just don't know how to do it. And then you just use this to get rid of him. And then once you've used full toad power, Brightman's dead. Luckily, I mean, obviously, because Toadman's power covers the entire screen and does damage, it's not going to be necessary. It's not going to be none of the Wily-esque bosses, Dr. Cossack bosses, are going to be weak against it other than Brightman. So, and I guess you could use it if certain smaller enemies are affected by it. And once you have Brightman's power, Pharaohman's just completely useless. I mean, he's completely neutered. You know? So there are two hidden items in this game that aren't required to get through. It just kind of makes certain parts easier to do. And one of them is hidden in Pharaohman's stage. So we're gonna pick that up right now. You've seen me do this a couple times in, well, Mega Man 3, you saw me do this where I crossed over a chasm to see if there was anything on the other side. This is why. Because Pharaohman's stage actually has another part to it if you jump over the pit. Now you can go down that pit, it's not gonna kill you or anything. It's just that that's progress, and you want to get over to here to get this, which is balloon. It's similar to Mega Man 2 has, I think it's item. Is it item 1 or is it item 2? I get those two confused sometimes. I think item 2 was your rush jet. So it must be item 1. So it operates a little bit like that, but because it's a balloon, it's affected by the weight of Mega Man, and it doesn't last nearly as long as item 1 did in Mega Man 2. Oh yeah, and you get to start making these jumps. So, yeah. Because if you get hit by those bullets those guys are shooting, you're dead. You'll end up in the pit and die. You won't be able to make it out of the pit is what I'm trying to say. So they do a good job here of including some... yeah, that guy right there. I like really like the theming in this level. You've got, you know, these little robot mummies that shoot their heads at you. The bats from Mega Man 2 make a great reappearance here. I really like that they bothered to include them. I mean, if I had to say what's the most iconic enemy character that you fight, it's clearly the Mets, because they're in every game, but the bats are probably a close second. So yes, this freezes Pharaoh Man, which allows you, he doesn't take damage like Quick Man does, but you can, yeah, I'm trying to freeze him so that I don't have to move, but we'll just go behind him and just do this. So as long as you just keep shooting him, he'll die. Like I said, he's not like Quick Man in Mega Man 2, where he takes damage as he's paused, but in the same regard, you know, there's not an easy mode, quote unquote, to this game. So, you know, Quick Man can only take 50% damage from Flash Man's power. But multiple powers are usually good against enemies, and these later Mega Man games, they basically make it so that you can only really effectively use one power. This is another character who is balls hard. Ring Man, his gimmick is he throws a ring or two. I think it's just one ring. But his main gimmick is he tries to create crash damage. And because crash damage in this game is so high, it's like a third of your health, maybe more. He's super difficult because, you know, he does his regular ring power, which I think does 3 damage to you. And then, you turn around and, he's, you know, trying to jump on you. So you have to try and slide under him, but he's super fast too. I don't know. Again, like I said before, I think Mega Man 4 is the hardest Mega Man game of all of them. There are parts of 3 that are difficult, there are parts of 2 that are difficult. 1 could be unfair in certain spaces, but, you know, you can also figure it out. This is the enemy that you saw if you ever, if you were a little kid back in the day and you looked at the back of the box art for Mega Man 4, you would see this fucking hippopotamus thing. It's kind of like, whatever. Yeah, don't get caught down here. Oh, also these little buzzsaw guys, I'm not 100% sure if they could take damage from other robot master attacks, but they are bad against Ring Man's power, which I think is hilarious. You've got a guy who's specifically bad against the robot master that's in, yeah, don't do that. You'll die. You'll die every time. Only weak to the boss's power. This is another mini boss that you have to fight in Ring Man's stage, which is kind of weird. He can kind of wreck you if you don't time his attacks quite right. So you're probably also going to see me at some point, because the nature of how difficult this game is, and because they do not do a good job of refilling your enemy ammunition. I think they do it between stages, so like even though I just fought Bright Man, you can see Toadman's power is full again. When you get into Wily Castle, I think they think that you're supposed to get like a that was worthless. That's Ed, by the way. Ed is a robot that gives you random power-ups. I'm not 100% sure if Dr. Light created him or he's a creation of a different person or not. Different scientist, if you will. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. This is possibly the hardest part of Ringman's stage, aside from fighting Ringman. That guy can very easily turn you into mush. Now, if I'd used the robot master power, I think I might have been okay there. Alright, I'm probably gonna fast forward through that part. Well, it's nice that I got 2 extra lives, though. That was kind of fucking bullshit how long that took to power up my, get Mega Man back up to health. You're gonna probably see me do that again at some point in this game. As I mentioned earlier in the episode, but, like, not so much for health, but for, getting whatchamacallit back. Getting Robot Master power back. Because they don't do, like I said, they don't do a very good job of refilling that. Right, I'm going to take on the Ringman now. Except we're not going to actually do that, we're just gonna die. See? Because I want my full health back. Before I try to take him on. I think Ringman's power did more damage to me than fucking Barrelman's power did to Ringman per hit. Kind of ridiculous.